So welcome to this segment as we continue with the 2024 5070, A2. It says a learner carried out an investigation on 5 unknown dyes, A, B, C, D, and E. 3 unknown pure dyes, red. 3 known pure dyes, red, blue, and yellow, were used as standards. The following shows the chromatogram that was obtained. So you can see A up to E represent the unknown dyes. Then red, blue, and yellow represents what we are calling as being the known, represents the known dyes. So that is what they wanted you to do. Then A there says which of the unknown dyes is a pure substance. Now you need to understand that for a pure substance will show only one spot on the chromatogram. So it will only show one spot, and that indicates a pure substance. So it does not consist of maybe multiple colors, but it only consists of one color. So which one they're talking about, they are not. So from A to E, which one shows only one spot? If I look at A, it has 1, 2, 3, B has got 1, C has 1, D has got 2, E has got 2. So therefore I would have actually taken B, or B and C were the best options there. Then which of the standard colors is the least soluble in the solvent used? So now when it comes to solubility, how do you know that this one is the least soluble? So the least soluble dye travels the shortest distance from the baseline. So which one has traveled the shortest distance from the baseline? That actually indicates the one which is the least soluble. Or if you want, you can say the color closest to the baseline is actually the least soluble. So it says which of the standards, so remember the standards are those. So between which one, red, blue, and yellow, which one is closest to the baseline? It's actually yellow. So yellow is actually the least soluble standard that we have there. Hopefully it's actually making sense. Let's move on to C there. It says that draw a line on the chromatogram and label it to represent the solvent front. So the solvent front is the liquid. It will move. It should be above all the dyes that we do have there. Yeah, so it should be slightly above that. So what we can do is that we can actually draw a line. You can use a rule and actually draw it. I think I don't have a rule closer to me, so I'll just use my marker. Then I'll draw a line, in this case above. It should be a straight line above the spots, and that will represent what we are calling as being the solvent. That will represent the solvent front. Obviously you get the concept there. Then D says give 2 reasons why the baseline should be drawn in pencil. So why is baseline supposed to be drawn in pencil? Remember, one, I can simply say that pencil is insoluble in the solvent. Yeah, so it won't dissolve. So it won't dissolve so that's to interfere with the result. Then 2, another reason why the baseline is actually drawn in pencil is that ink would dissolve. So ink would dissolve and spread so that is spread, contaminating. So we can simply say contaminating the chromatogram. So that's what we could have said. So remember, pencil is insoluble and hence in the solvent, and hence it won't dissolve, so it will not interfere with what we are doing. Then ink would dissolve and spread, contaminating the chromatogram, so it would actually interfere. No wonder the baseline is actually drawn in what we are calling as being a pencil. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy what we do, please you can subscribe to our channel.